I was wondering if you guys could tell us a little bit about some of the research and prep you did for your roles this season.
Ooh, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I got the information on what the season was going to entail for Chi, and so I just started prepping, just doing more working out, more eating less, because the whole ghost sickness aspect. I try to, you know, dive into what does that look like for its physical toll on the body as well as the mental and the spiritual decline. So I just, went to these spaces, watching a lot of uh dark stuff and listening to a lot of music that, brought me from the brink of destruction growing up, and so I just kind of got into that, and I'd actually like play some music, and then I'd go and read the scenes, and I'd be like singing my lines out to the melody of the song. So that's really how I try to get that embedded into my body and ready to go out and on camera.
And for Bernadette's character this season, she was coping a lot with PTSD of murdering a person. And, previous to my acting career, I worked in a lot of high risk group homes and worked with a lot of Indigenous people with the wellness company my mother and I had run called Lemon Creek. So we worked with a lot of incarcerated people and people who have witnessed murder or have witnessed assaults. And so I was drawing a lot from personal life experience and just the people that I've worked with in mental health and how they coped and how they dealt and bringing that into the character. And also there's an interesting arc for Bernadette saving this girl. And that was really reflective of her trying to save a younger version of herself. And so again, I was just really reflective of like the work I've done in the past, working with psychologists and understanding that we all develop our response systems at the age of 7. So we really are just like these grown people and these grown
Grown 7-year-olds.
still operating if we're unaware of dealing with that child version of ourselves. So I came from a place of psychology blended with like real life experiences and making sure that I was very cognizant of bringing that into the character this season. And then it helped Bernadette's character relate to Chi too, and what his character is carrying this season is deeply rooted in psychology as well. Like ghost sickness is psychosomatic of, the things inside that you do not deal with, unraveling and coming into the physical form.
Yeah, unhealed trauma.
Yeah, unhealed trauma.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Do you remember any songs that you listened to in particular, like Kiowa? And
Yeah, that particularly when I
I'll give the
was
floor.
first started doing it, it was some scary kids scaring kids. It was called the City Sleeps in Flames, I think it was called. And a lot of like Let Live and Glassjaw, just really like heavy stuff.
So this season, when we start out, Bern and Jim are together. Talk about how that's going to affect their working relationship and how their working relationship affects their romantic relationship too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the relationships, they're intertwined, it's all connected, but it's a really topsy-turvy, and you got to try to find the balance there, and it comes to a head at the end of the third episode when there's a revelation, unbeknownst to Chi, that there was some collusion between the line of succession at the NTP, and I had this idea that we would rule together as a duo, but her being back isn't so cut and dry as that. I persuaded her, or Joe persuaded us, because she was coming back to be the actual de facto leader to replace Joe Leaphorn. And I took offense to that because I thought I earned that position. And here we are.
There's a lot of like reoccurring topics of betrayal, um, uh, PTSD, vulnerability, and you see a lot of these characters experience all that full circle. So at the beginning of the season, you're witnessing how Chi copes with Bernadette struggling to get over the trauma she just experienced. And then as the series evolves of the season, you see that role reverse, where all of a sudden Bernadette becomes the keeper of trying to keep Chi afloat as he experiences and goes through his trauma and goes through his vulnerability. So it's a very cool season where Chi and Bernadette are no longer head to head playing it cool, but you actually see the broken versions of each other and how they uplift each other. And because their work relationship is so intricately tied into their love relationship, you see the unspoken also being said between them.
Yeah, subtext.
So the show touches on strength in different ways, whether it be like physical, cultural, emotional. How does each of your characters define their strength?
Oh.
I think, you know, what I said, we had a premiere and our panel afterwards when we aired the first episode. And I think it really relates, just like how I think it's not just me and my personal life feeling, but a lot of our society and world right now about just like, you know, what's happening in our world. It's so challenging. But the one thing that relates and correlates to Dark Winds and what all the characters are going through this season is no matter what obstacles you're going through in your daily life, what hardships you're going through, no matter what, you must move forward. And if you really look at it from the grand scheme of everything that's being said, that is kind of one of the direct messages. And to me, that's literally one of the messages of the human experience in general for all of us. So I hope the audiences from a soul level are taking that, or at least that is resonating with them when they're watching this as entertainment, but that, you know, it's also a mere reflection of what we're all going through collectively.
Yeah, it's about, like, you know, community and our relationship to that.
Well said, Kiowa. I just like taking
No,
the piss out of him.
She does all the work.
You do it all. It's just like, you know, we're just being so like serious with you guys. Like, oh, hello. Yeah, figured I'd break it up a bit.
Yeah, good. We need some levity. And that's what it is. There's those nice tone shifts throughout the whole show, and it's great that we can kind of, there's a balancing act, right? And it's really nice that we can have those moments of levity and joy amongst the chaos and depravity.
And the two of you are such a glamorous, kind of old-fashioned Hollywood golden couple.
Oh,
Is why? Why can't you guys get it together? What is what
I think
is it?
I think we're just very,
compliment.
all-
very stubborn. We're two stubborn people, but we're two peas in a pod in that way, right?
Because then no one would watch until season 4 to see what happens between us. So the writers had
Yeah,
to
they
create
had
the
to.
tension for that long.
Yeah. We can't give it all at once, right? Otherwise, we only have one season.
Just to hook you guys to keep watching our
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Will they or won't they? The biggest straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Old school couple. I
But
like
thank
I
you.
like
That's a
that.
lovely compliment.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was directed towards us or to the characters.
To both, actually, you know.
Aw.
Duo.
So
You know,
thank you. Yeah.
yeah, thank you too.
you, Steve.
I think it's just a joy for us to represent a show like this and to be a part of it. And in our own ways, I always want to set the precedent of what it you know, there's set ways even within our community of what we think Indigenous people should act like and behave like and talk like. And I you know, when Kiowa and I in general are very individual people, but we're very proud culturally of where we're from. So we hope that on and off screen, we are able to reflect something like that. So your compliment is very nice. Thank you, because it just makes me take that in.
Yeah. And it makes it
Like,
just
okay, good.
real.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
we are trying to be like an elevated version of, you know, the best of our culture and what our people can be seen, you know, globally as.
Yeah,
So
positive light,
so
not
thank
just
you
poverty
for
porn. So
saying
that's
it
good.
and
Yeah.
you know, validating, okay, then we're kind of doing our jobs.
Yeah,
do
that
that,
just it makes it feel like we're doing it for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the 4 seasons, both characters have been through quite a lot, and a lot of that trauma comes out in season 4. How do you feel your characters have evolved over the 4 seasons, and how is that affecting the relationship between the characters?
I think you see from season 1, Bernadette is still kind of new in her position. and her walls are still quite up at the beginning of the season, and you see that of just in how she regards Chi, right? An outsider coming in.
Mhm.
And you see the cracks of her vulnerability showing as the seasons progress. And I think that was very important to show those other parts because, you know, as human beings, we're all multi-layered, right?
Yeah.
It's we're not just like one version of ourselves, we're multiple versions of ourselves with whatever space you hold with another person. So I just think you see as she goes through her trauma how she copes and shows that vulnerability but still has like her guard up at the same time. And yeah, it's just as an actor it's very interesting to explore what those dynamics could look like for a human being going through all of this. And yeah, I don't know, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, like you start off as like this big hard jawbreaker and you got to crack that sucker open, whether, you know, smashing it on a
She's
table
calling it a sucker?
or you lick it until you get to those new layers of flavor. And that's really what, well, we're just unraveling it just layer by layer. And the way that the progression of our arcs have been played out since day one is just a testament to where the writers and the showrunner and the executive producers knew where it's going to go from day one to where we're going to end on this whole arc of our show. And it's just nice to cutting it up until we get to those gooey insides.
I think it's really cool, just like, you know, and I know this has probably been said multiple times with different native TV shows, but again, it's breaking certain stereotypes that have been portrayed of the stoic Indian. And as our seasons have progressed, you've gotten to see not just our characters, Jolie Porn to Emma, you get to see that, you know, at the end of the day, cultural or not, we're all just human beings. And I think that's why the show resonates with everyone, because every human emotion that these characters are experiencing is a very lived emotion that all humans on this planet go through. And I think that's why the show resonates so much.
Yeah, really. It's
Yes,
not just about playing it cool in the beginning and then that's all just insecurity playing up.
Or showing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you've both done a fantastic job of making the characters really come alive rather than essentially a stereotype, which it could have been.
Right.
Totally. We could have
Well,
been like a generic
thanks.
cop show.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, thank you for acknowledging that, because I think
Yeah.
we were trying to, you know, we knew we were a cop show, but we knew we had this interesting layer of portraying, you know, true beliefs within a native tribe.
Yeah, the culture and the landscapes
And the, you know, the
people that live
mysticism and all that, but also because we had that interesting dynamic in our show, we wanted to reflect that in our portrayal of the characters too. They're not always like, you know,
Yeah, though as we
deadpans,
try, and it's like,
like-
no, we gotta
like Dave
spice it up a
Caruso,
little bit.
not like
Yeah.
Dave Caruso, so cool, but you know, like Jim Carrey's you know, portrayal of Dave Caruso. Like we're not like the stereotypical cops on a show, which is really nice. No offense. I saw someone go like, oh, it's just said it. But bless David Caruso because he made that character that, you know, but I'm just saying it's like we get to show multi layers of these characters because it's written as such. Thank you to our writers room for doing that.
Both of you are so good in this series, and Kiowa, you're just insane. Season 4 is just an epic performance from you. How does Chi's childhood trauma play into how he investigates this missing girl?
I think it correlates to how he had no time to. He wanted to find the time to be there for his mother and to bring her back home to the res, to her people, but you know, he has a second chance at saving somebody else here and bring her back home to the res. And I think that's what it is for him, is like, you know what? He's tired of not being there at the right time to save the people that he wishes he could save. And this is another one of those chances to not give up and to fail. You know, it's this the drive there to persevere and to not give up and to keep fighting. And even though he had nothing, he basically built himself up after his mother died and didn't really have anybody there. And he thought he found that with Widover when he went to the FBI, but that was a farce. And now he finds solace in Lee Porn and Bernadette. And I think that's, you know, the little girl, he also sees Bernadette in as well, you know, because she has a similar story and upbringing. So it just makes it that much more um the urgency with what he needs to do to try to save this girl. You know, he puts it upon himself when they go out to LA and he thinks he's got it all figured out. And he's going to go undercover and he's going to find her so quick and end it and solve everything, save this girl and prove to Leaphorn and Bernadette that he's more capable than either of them.
I think this season you're even better than your other seasons. And that's just saying so much because
Thanks,
both of
it's a
you bring
progression.
it 110% every season. It's so just investable to watch you on our screens. But I think, Kiowa, this season, you're just an outstanding performance.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm humbled. Thank you.
Hey there, that was me miming Caruso taking off his sunglasses.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I know I wanted to put my glasses on, but I took them off. I don't know where I put
I have to say, I was, I did this for season one with you guys, and it's been so great to, watch this show, because when you start a show, even, it could be great, and obviously there's tons of books and people have the characters, but you never know.
Yeah, it can fizzle out.
Yeah, so I mean, what's it like for you to be on to have been on this journey so long, and now we just learned that season 5 is happening, I think I just read. And so what's it been like personally for you?
Personally, I mean, it really is like I just can't state it enough how like overjoyed I am and how much of like a dream this really feels like and how I just don't even know how it's real. But I'm just so grateful to have a great, scene partner here and a great team behind us, and it's a testament to the backing of AMC and the rights from Robert Redford to bring this out, and George R. R. Martin coming on, and then Zahn and Tina Elmo and Chris Eyre. Like without that nucleus, like we'd have nothing, and to keep it going and just stronger than ever and keep it strong and strengthened it even more. Every season is just not every project gets to have that. Just I don't know. It's like it's weird. I don't even know how to explain it.
We've been on a lot of productions before too, and I will say there is something to say about good energy behind a show and the people attached to it. And I kind of feel like when there is good energy behind a show, it's like spirit will always continue to allow abundance in. And I will say we really lucked out where everyone is doing their best and there's kindness at the end of the day. And it's not just their cast and crew, but everyone behind the AMC networks. Like everyone genuinely is just kind and humble and talented and hardworking. And that's just reflected. It's just like from top to bottom, like that's kind of like the basis. And I think that's why, and we're all just coming from a place of gratitude, especially
it's so inspiring.
and what has been happening in Hollywood. We're like, holy shit, so I was supposed to say, but we're the underdogs that are, we're still going.
Just keep fighting.
And there's a lot of pride in being the underdogs, and everyone just didn't know where we're coming from. And to be you kind of like the last man standing.
It's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And we can't stay down, we have to keep going.
But honestly, we are just very grateful. And I think at the end of the day, we're highly aware of it's not just supporting our livelihoods, it's supporting a network of people, a whole community of people. And that allows us to be uplifted to give back to our communities in a real way too. So that's what I mean. Spirit will always protect good and kindness at the end of the day, and if you keep giving back, it comes back to you.
It's just like building up trust where you never even knew that you could have that, and it's really fun to see. And it really is like the universe is just conspiring with how we just keep going with the audacity to just keep going, and it's just like, all right, here you go.